well as far as today's session is concerned. What am I going to do here is let me just see whether I can share for today's slides. Yes, I'm just trying to get it organized. Good, I think people can see. And most important here is this, I know it is Monday. Some people got Monday blues, but the good news here is this, less than 4 hours from now, we will cross to Tuesday. And that's how fast paced that the days are moving, the weeks are moving. And I tell you, even the COVID circuit breaker, we all were confined in the month of April and May. And if you just sit down and reflect right now, we have passed so many months, the whole of June, July, August, and we are almost coming to the end of September, probably in another 10 days down the road. That's what is happening, and I think we are all moving fast. What is the key objective of today? You know, I think lately I have been conducting consumer seminars last Wednesday, and then on last Thursday we had a We Talk series together with Calvin Fong, and then on Friday Calvin had a consumer seminar, and Saturday morning I had a consumer seminar, and probably this will be last for the week. I think just not that we want to take a break, but because we got a lot more huge things are coming soon. Okay, I think some of you may have read the papers and so on. Propnex have entered into a partnership with MediaCorp and 99.co to bring a lot more information to the table to the consumers, and all these things are happening soon. We will see a huge update on that come end of this week or starting next week. Okay, put everything aside. What is my objective in the next 45 minutes or so? I will go a little bit fast, but simply because I do not want to drag so much, because something is happening in the market that is, a lot of us are not able to really put a finger and say absolutely this is the reason. A multiple factors, a cocktail of things that is happening, spinning around, that is creating something in the market. And that is something that we want to identify, and probably by the end of today's session, there's two parts. One is my part, and the second part is totally amazing as well. There's a reason why the second part, as we go, I will let you know. Okay, all in all, it should not take more than 1 hour and 20 minutes. Good. One of the key things we always saw this is just because we want every audience to be responsible. Okay, whatever we give.
Hi, Ismail. I'm sorry to cut in, but I think your slide is not showing yet.
Oh, really? Really? Let me see. Okay, let me stop here and let me go here and let me see. Is this happening now? No, still?
Still not up yet.
Okay, good. I'm going back again. Give me just a moment when I fix this. Oh, hold on.
Thank you for letting us have some time to set up. Thank you to the almost 200 of you here on a Monday night. So just for me to understand that any one of you visited any show flat over the weekend, can you just type 1 into the chat box itself? Any one of you visited any show flat, any one show flat, or visited a resale listing? Can you type 1 into the chat box itself so that we know how the market is doing now?
Okay,
wow,
can you see me on my slides?
I see the glossary or the slide, but the slide is not open yet. Maybe you can double click on the file.
Okay, you still don't see, but I'm sharing it here. Let me go back here.
From the share screen, you stop share. You try to select the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Because just now you selected mirror desktop.
I see. Okay. Back there.
Yes, I think now you open the PowerPoint, we can see exactly now. If you open the PowerPoint now.
Okay.
And we got it.
Can you see now?
Yes, perfect. It's perfect now.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, sorry for the technical glitches on my side. Okay, so moving ahead, I was just trying to highlight here is this in the current situation, we just want to make it as comfortable as possible and give as much information to all of you to make sure that we can make the right decision. One of the key challenges in real estate market here is the huge amount of details. And right now I've got more than 200 of you. Just let me just get it quickly to catch up for that little delay that caused initially. And I was just highlighting as far as this thing is concerned here is this, please speak to any of our PropNext salespeople to understand in greater details. Yep, your specific needs and so on. Let's look at the state of the current real estate market. One of the key things here is this, what surprised many people here is this, the new private home sales. And we say the new private home sales in the month of July post new rebound, new private home sales post surprise rebound. And people were really asking this question, why is this so happening despite the COVID? Should the market not be right now be adjusting in terms of its price, or should it not be coming in terms of correction? And then when we look at it in July, new home sales, the volume of transactions went up by 8.2%. And that we are talking about 1,080 units concluded in the month of July. And then a lot of people were analyzing and saying that, hey, maybe because there was a pent-up demand in the month of April, May during the circuit breaker, and most of these people are only coming back in July because phase 2 was in 19th of June. Then they look at it last month. New home sales surged to an 11-month high in August to 1,256. And that was really almost an 11.8% higher than the month of July. Again, then what is happening? And this is what I'm trying to go and explain to you, a couple of these things. And obviously one of the key things was in the second quarter, the prices also went up by 0.3%. And maybe I'll just illustrate and explain to you the complete picture of the last 20 years in a nutshell. If you try to understand from year 2000 until now, as of the second quarter this year, yes, the real estate market do experience cycles, and as well as you can see prices go up and sometimes come down. And most importantly, if you look at it, in the year 2000, we did experience the dot-com bubble. For those of you who know, everybody was in the internet and trying to think .com, but then it eventually was overpriced, many of these things, and there was a crash. And then in year 2003 was SARS, a pandemic like this, but was not at this magnitude. But what it only goes to show here is this: in the 15 quarters, property prices came down by 18% in less than 4 years, okay, 4 quarters in a year. And then what happened? The market steadily climbed up in the next 17 quarters in 4 years again. And this time was 58%. I mean, if somebody who bought the property at, let's say, $2 million, and in the 4 years, it goes up by $3 million. And that's a huge capital appreciation. And people felt that maybe they should have bought it. And who actually benefited? Those people who literally picked up during the uncertainty of the market. And then global financial crisis. And this is very classic, because during the global financial crisis, because some of them call it as the Lehman crisis, you know, the property prices dropped just within 4 quarters, within a year, by 23%. Look at it, the rock bottom. And I'm quite sure when the prices were dropping, a lot of people dare not buy and enter the market. But those people who entered, even though those entered not at -23, even at -18, but what happened here is this: within the next 17 quarters, it rebounded back, surpassed the previous peak, and went up by 40%. So what am I trying to say? The market do have its cycles, but people benefit because when it favors them to buy. Then what happened in 2013 was the various TDSR, total debt servicing ratio. when this total debt servicing ratio was introduced, and a series of cooling measures was put in place in order to make sure there aren't speculation, and markets started to tank, and then it also went down by 11% in just less than 3 years. The market found its recovery from 2017, and we started to go up within 1 over year, 15 months, to 9%. And then the government introduced another round of cooling measure, which was in July. So then the million-dollar question, if you ask me, Mr. Ismail, what are you telling us history? What is the point? My message to you is simple. So what are we expecting now? Now that we have got this pandemic, why is the prices not coming down? Yep. And how much more will the price come down before I enter? Already in the last 2 quarters, the prices have come down by minus 0.7. In fact, the second quarter, it went up by 0.3. The main difference, the market is reacting differently right now here is because of whatever the government have already introduced, the total debt servicing ratio. That means, in other words, most of the buyers who have bought the property in the last couple of years are not speculators. Because right now we have seller stamp duty in place, and as well as these buyers have the holding power to own the property. And as long as people hold on to the property and they're not dumping, and there isn't a mismatch of demand and supply, prices will not come down. In the case of global financial crisis, yes, prices went down because a lot of people threw the property because they were worried. And there were many speculators. But right now, I'm saying that in Singapore, there aren't many speculators. In fact, speculation is almost not possible because of the seller stamp duty. So let's look at it. And this is something that I want you to understand. When we always talk about property investment, there was a survey, just Eddie did it. Is it location? Is it size? Is it price? Obviously, different locations come with a different price tag. You can't get the price at a core central region, which are in shaded, I would say, yes, those in here or pink, you can call it as pink in your screen, or in orange at the core central region. These are the District 1, the District 2, the District 9, the District 10, the Orchard Road, Bell, and the downtown. And then we also have the rest of the core central region, which is in bluish or purple here. Again, it is just the outskirts of the core central region. Then you're talking about the Sterling Road, the Balestier, and certain part of the Bukit Timah area, and as well as Marine Parade, Kallang, Whampoa, Eunos. Therefore, you can see just the outskirts of the core become the rest of core central region. Then the OCR is any other part of Singapore. It could be Tampines on the east, or it could be North Woodlands, or it could be Jurong on the west. It really doesn't matter. They are known as OCR. Why this is important is because there's a different attraction to people. Generally, who buy in core central region? People who are middle and higher income group of people. A lot of foreign investors, where do they look at? Core central region too. But the price tags are high. The per square foot are high. If you imagine owning an iconic development at the Orchard Road, it's not going to be the same as one that you want to own at Yishun or Woodlands. It cannot be because of location. Then what about RCR? Actually, today what we notice here is this RCR is getting huge amount of traction. In fact, in the month of August, there's one slide later, I will tell you, 49.5%, or almost 1 in 2 unit that was sold in the month of August were all RCR. Why people are entering the RCR? Because RCR, people say the price is not too far away from OCR and hugely discounted compared to the core central region, and we are just sandwiched in between at times. And therefore, there's huge benefit still. And that's why people are doing. So I just want you to understand when we talk about, because URA, all the price indexes all come with OCR, RCR, and CCR. So this map, I hope, gives you a better understanding of what we are talking about. Now that we have already cleared that, just want to show you in terms of numbers. Look at it, 2018. We had a total of 8,795 transactions, but last year we almost hit 10,912. But however, this year, if you look at it so far, the first quarter was 2,149, and when the circuit breaker comes in, second quarter, we had 1,713 units, yep, which was a fair amount of drop. But look at July and August alone. July alone was 1,080 and August alone was 1,256. When you combine these two, is 2,003. In fact, the 2 months is higher than the entire first quarter, which was not in the circuit breaker, and almost coming to hugely more. And can you imagine if I add on a September, another 1,000, it is going to be almost double of second quarter. So this is just going to show that we are doing well. The market is resilient. And this is a picture, if you count all the 8 months of 2020, with 6,198 transactions versus last year, and yet the minus is only 4%, and high probability we may surpass last year's performance. This is where I talk about the green is the RCR. Now that you understand what is RCR and what is core central region is Orchard Road. In fact, these both have really taken a positive spin upward, almost 48.4% of all transactions increase from July to August. It doesn't mean OCR there is no demand, but because again OCR there wasn't any major launches. RCR there was. Foret sold about 200 units and there was a new launch. This is what I meant by 49.5%. Out of the overall number of sale, RCR in the month of August have sold 622. Something exciting is happening because immediately after I present, second part for probably in a half an hour, someone will lead you through almost the best likelihood to sell project in the RCR for this year, 2020. And he's going to give you some glimpse of this particular product, okay? And this is where Foret achieved 30% sale on launch day via virtual balloting. People even don't get a chance to physically use the balloting, all through virtual, and yet the developer sold 190 on the weekend, and for the whole month they sold well above 200 units. Then, let's now zoom into to understand the buying trends. Who are the people who are buying? Now, when you look at it, you can see by nationality. Okay, the green shows the Singaporean, and the blue shows the permanent resident, and the yellow, the foreigners. Truly, Singaporeans are taking huge advantage, I must say. When I say Singaporeans, in terms of the absolute numbers, you can see in 1680, 1388, but the next slide will make it extremely clear. This is an example of July and August. From 846 to 1052 buyers are all Singaporean, and PR is only 139, and 54 were foreigners. And this 10852 is actually 85%. 85% of the buyers. It's actually unusually a bit high, but we also can understand because of restriction, travel imposed, and foreigners and so on, developers are pricing it sensitively, and Singaporeans are taking advantage of the market. Okay, so that's one thing that you need to be aware of in terms of the buying trend. Thank you so much for those of you who are already listening. I got more than 300 participants. Let me just try to be brief and focused, and thanks for making time this evening. Look at the population numbers. And then in year 2010, we had Singapore's population 508, and over the last 10 years, it has gone to 5.7. And we are talking about an increase of 620,000 people. Then my question here is this: where these people come from? Okay, and yes, they get a huge number of people who come to Singapore, either they get a citizenship or PR, even the workforce. And because as long as they come in, obviously they need a roof over their head, either as a rental, purchase, or a long-term stay. And this is something, again, I was just telling you in terms of the prices. Look at it. The first quarter, the price actually went down by -1, but the second quarter prices went up by 0.3. And in like core central region went up by 0.27, and as well as OCR. But the RCR for the first 6 months has been relatively negative, and that actually bring the gap nearer in terms of compared to OCR, or for that matter CCR, and that's where people are finding RCR as a very strong value add to come into the market. And this is just to show you the top 10 best selling project for the first 8 months. And then when you look at it, out of the 10, the RCR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10 are RCR, and OCR are 4, and CCR, the M sold 390 units, but look at the price point per square foot. This is what I meant by CCR command about 2,005, but RCR will be anything between 17, 16, 19, 19, 16. That's why. Can you see the RCR prices? And then some of the OCR prices can also be 13, 16 at Park Clementi's, quite central location. And Treasure has been topping the chart, selling the most number of units, and as well as Florence is doing fairly well, even OCR is 15. So that's why later part today, we are going to talk about a product that is in RCR, but is almost priced at the OCR price, 15 or 16. And that's why that development seems to be really getting huge amount of attention. Okay, I just wanted to hear and understand some of the benefit of that. Okay, support factors for property market. Why then really people are coming in big numbers to pick up the units? Couple of reasons here is this. Honestly, Singapore real estate market is resilient. And when we say it is resilient, simply because number one, I mean, in the last couple of slides, I showed you in terms of volume, I showed you because of prices, I showed you demand, I showed you who are buying. Why? First, speculative buying, no more. Thanks to the government introducing the total debt servicing ratio in 2013, a lot of buyers who come here right now are buying with mid and long term. They are prudent. They have the ability to finance despite the economic condition. Then the next question people ask, Mr. Ismail, I hear a lot of people are being retrenched, but it is not a zero-sum game. Some people get retrenched, many people get job, many new establishments take place. I'll show you some slides later. Next thing, why this market is different compared to the other pandemic? Because now we are experiencing a really very, very low interest rate. And that support, you know, property purchase is always about taking a loan, and the low interest rate is to your advantage because every month the installment, huge amount goes to your principal to reduce the loan quantum, and only a small amount goes to the interest. So can you imagine the last 10 years also Singapore interest rate has been well below 3%, 1 something to 2 something. And if you take a loan for 20 years and 10 over years, you can pay interest in less than 2% or around 2%. It's huge amount of savings. Do you know in the 1990s, when I bought a property, the interest rate was 6.75% and it went up to 7.25%. Like these days, it's like so scary. We can't even imagine that kind of rate. Okay. So low interest rate definitely support, and more sustainable property market. The sustainable market here is based and got to do with demand, supply, what is available. And I'm going to show you some slides. Massive government stimulus package to help prop up the businesses and so on. Yes, some of the stimulus package will wear off, but generally the still towards positive, supporting the businesses community. Okay, look at it, the interest rate. This is what I'm trying to say. Singapore rates unlikely to stay negative, but may remain low till 2021. I think people are expecting, because what happened was at one stage in the May, during the circuit breaker period, the interest rate went to negative, the SIBOR rate, but it didn't stay there for long. It was just very brief period. But today we are talking about interbank rates. People, you can secure a loan at 1%. And that is truly, truly exciting and amazing. Okay, so that's as far as interest rate. Next, we talk about Singapore top's region of property investment. You see, you must understand Singapore as a city and as well as in a country. And in the eyes of a lot of investors, they look at from overseas. You see, for Singaporean, we see this is our country. And therefore, we say, wow, this is expensive. How do we afford? And things like that. But in the eyes of foreigners, either 1 billion people in China, 1 billion people in India, or be it in Indonesia, 200 over million, or the United States of America, fund managers or investors from MNCs and all others, they look at Singapore as a city in comparison to Tokyo, Sydney, Shanghai, Osaka, Beijing, and Delhi. Yeah, so Singapore, based on its attributes, stands out. Last year we were number 2, but this year we are ranked as number 1 property investment. Okay, and look at it, Singapore retains top spot as world most competitive. Just now was property investment, now is as an economy again. And this is, we're talking about 17 June. I did not pull something backdated or what we were all going through, just the COVID period and so on. Singapore ranked number 1, and as well last year was number 1. And this year is number 1. Even you compare to Denmark, Switzerland, Netherlands, Hong Kong. Hong Kong was number 2, but slide to number 5. Okay, so that's one of the things about Singapore's market is really confident. And these are something that definitely will help in terms of investment. This is what I say. As many as people who get retrenched, and you always hear in the headline, look at it, TikTok owner to spend billions, not millions, billions in Singapore after US ban, which definitely means they will have to bring in the talent, the headquarters, the IT, and as well as some Singaporean people getting the job in. And then you look at it, this one is another German logistic firm, DB Schenker, okay, PayPal investing more here. And this is 12th September, a week ago, people are coming in. And then you look at it, Tencent, and then we're talking about WeChat, okay? Again, because you see, when there is some tension between US banning some of the China, some of the MNCs and so on, look at it globally, Singapore. China and Hong Kong already got some tension, and Singapore benefit hugely. And this is just 16th September. So all I'm trying to say here is this is not a zero-sum game. Singapore will continue to benefit, and as long as some of these businesses come in, it will definitely have the inflow of the tech firms and all some other property sectors. Okay, and this will definitely lift up the demand as far as property investment are concerned. This one I'm just showing you the glimpse of the rental. Look at all the rental demand. In 15 years ago, there were only 31,000 leasing in Singapore, but last year there was 88,000. And you look at it for the first 6 months, we still had 38,000. It's only a very slight drop, despite April, May was a circuit breaker, and no viewing is possible. So generally, what am I trying to say? There is still a demand for rental. And where does this rent comes from? You see, Singapore's population, 5.7 million that we talk about. We also have got a huge number of S-Pass and E-Pass. No doubt some of them will have to go back if they're part of the retrenchment, but there are other people who will have to come in because they've got other job requirements. This is just to show you a glimpse of the employment pass and e-pass, about 400,000 last year. And then look at it from the last 5 years, from 2014, 178 to 170 is 350 plus to now almost 400, 200K of S-Pass and 190. And these people are still working. Not everybody is sent back. Some of them could be, yes, but generally by and large, these 400,000, even if you minus some thousand, still need a roof. That's where whatever you invest, who are you going to rent out? Is your property investable? Yeah, this is one group of people. Next, you may be surprised to know, Singaporean and PR, okay, the household, we are not talking about the population. Singapore and PR form about 4 million in terms of the statistics. But out of which, we have got about 9% of Singaporean PR live in rented accommodation, okay? This is according to Singapore Department of Statistics, and that comes to 122,000. 4 years ago or 5 years ago was 106, now 122,000 families of Singaporean and PR are renting a flat, okay? Either it could be HDB, it could be public housing, it could be one of those units that either you own or you intend to buy, and these are the people. So we have got about 400,000 S-Pass, E-Pass. We have got 122,000. We have got 500,000 people who need roofing over their head. And that's why the real estate market is relatively positive and resilient, okay? So now the $1 million question here is this: is it the time to buy? Because we say that market has got its own challenges and so on. So when is the right time to buy? Look at it. All I want to highlight to you here is this. Maybe today I just want to touch on 3 key things. Entry price, because remember Eddie highlighted, is it location? Is it price? Is it size? What is it? Okay, entry price. Does that make sense? And when should one enter the market? And is it resale property or new launch? Should one buy a resale? Is it wrong to buy resale? No. But who should buy? So you should also look at it from the angle of price appreciation. This is something for you to take note, and we will discuss. And finally, I'm going to very briefly touch on OPM, which is other people's money concept. Why am I talking about other people's money? Let me share with you a concept which many of you may have heard, and now almost coming to 350 of you hearing. Thank you so much. Good evening to each and every one of you for making time. Briefly, I'm going to take less than another 20 minutes before I just hand over to part 2. Stay on. The part 2 will give you the greatest opportunity to invest, okay? But it's up to you to consider. Do your due diligence. Let me look at the entry price. In this scenario, we are going to share 2 developments, Twin View and as well as Whistler Grand. They are just a javelin throw distance because just on a service road separating them. Twin View was by China Construction and Whistler Glen is by CDL. Now that you understood the location and you know the two different development, let me give you more statistics about this development. Twin View, government land sale. The developer bought it for $592 per square foot per plot ratio. That means that's per every square foot he sells, this is what he has committed for raw land. CDL paid $800 per square foot. And the land was just bought 1 year apart, February 17 to February 18. And the developer have to pay 35% because the market was so positive. But look at it, the launch date. Same year, this was 5th May. What's significant? 2 months later, the cooling measures was announced. Here, 4 months after cooling measures, credibly they sold well, 200 and 400. But look at the price. I just want you to understand the price point. How come this developer bought the land at a lower price and yet managed to sell at 1,004? And this developer sold at so high a price and yet sell the price on the average median price for the 231 unit at lower price. This is what we meant by when you want to enter the market. Okay, let me give another example. Exactly, just now we say, right? This is just, we are talking about the earlier example. I mean, this Whistler Glen. I'm going into Whistler Glen. How did they sell at 1360? Because they were selling against the new policy cooling measures that was announced. This is what they did. When they initially sold, they only opened at 1360, 1325, and they managed to clear 30%. So for the first 30%, they priced it so low. But the minute they hit the 50% mark, what they did, they inch up the price to 1393 to 1004. You see, they never fall back. From 13, they got to cross 14. Then from 14, they were hovering 14, 146, 1000, 1450. And then when they hit 70%, they went on to the new benchmark, 1476, 1486. When they hit the 75%, where do they go? 1517, 1558, because now they hit 85%. So what is the story? Did the developer continue to sell at 1,325 from day one until now? The development haven't even TOP yet. How come the developer can sell from 1325 to 14 to 15 to 1558? And why is he doing this? In fact, those people who bought at the first launch was 1360, and those people who bought last month is 1558. It was a price increase of 14.6%. That means all those 200 over people who bought, these people who bought, the 103 and 115 people, all who paid below 1325, yep, all made 15%. If they have bought a property for 1 million, they all made $150,000. Capital appreciation on paper. Yep, haven't even TOP. So what is actually happening here is this: the developer average out the price. The developer make, what I'm trying to say here is this: the developer, yes, sell this at a lower price, but eventually he sell at higher price, so that he can attain an overall average of 1,400 something, so that he can make some profit. Okay, so that's the way this business works. So when I look at it, let me give you a glimpse and an example. People are asking, Mr. Ismail, why don't I buy resale? Because resale per square foot are cheaper. It's no harm. You can choose to buy resale. Perfectly okay. But it is all about what is your game plan. Do you want to exceed within 5 to 10 years and make some money as part of a capital appreciation? Or do you want to stay there for as long until you retire, until maybe this is your home for a good? And this is something that you have to make a huge decision. Okay? Why I say that? Look at it. Generally, property like this is, I'm just giving an example of the Shaw residence. When the property was launched in year 2009, the property price developer launched at 1,001. Within a short period of time, in 4 years to 5 years, the property prices market was also moving, and people managed to cash out 1,650. And person who bought 1,000 square foot would have easily made more than $500,000. And then after that, from 2013, the property market just stagnate. Therefore, you said, Mr. Ismail, so you are saying some people say that Mr. Ismail, you was giving an example when the market was moving, obviously everything moved. When after cooling measure, everything was flat. So there's no chance for property prices to go up. That's why. So why are you saying this story? But my point is different. My point is if you buy a new launch, for the first few years, it will keep going up because the developer is controlling the price because it's increasing on stages, and therefore there are people who are buying a higher price. But after that, it's stagnant because the property become older, and also because like in the first quarter this year, it was sold at 157. Why the property still cannot keep going up? Because people who bought at 1,001 are prepared to sell at 1,005. So these people dampen the market, okay, for whatever reasons, because they still want to release, and the valuation of you asking high price may not be possible. Okay, let me give you another example. This is about the same thing. Queens is somewhere near Commonwealth. Developer launch in 07771. By the time at its peak, it went up to 1366, and people who cash out would have made $600,000 for close to 1,000 square foot. After that, the market again stagnate. Okay, why? Today, those people who bought at $771 and $800 at the early stages, they will still sell at 1,002, 1,003. They are okay with that. Okay, and it takes a slower growth. I'm not saying that this will never go. It will go at a slower pace. As opposed to new launches, let me give an example of the new launches. Remember just now I give it to you, Whistler Grand, a live example, and now I give you another example. This is Kingsford Waterway. I choose the same stack, 66 tower. Developers sold in May 2017, because why May 17? Because you said cooling measures was introduced in 2013, 1718 was all normal period. But look at it, even 17 May and October, the difference is only 6 months. Developer initially sold this unit at 1,142. Yep. And subsequently, in fact, it was on a higher floor, 8th floor, 1,142. This is on the 3rd floor, sold at 1,300, 18% more. Does that make any logic? A person who bought the 8th floor at 1,142 and a person who buy the 3rd floor pay much higher. Mainly because this 8th floor entered the market earlier, because the developer did not cross the hurdle. Because every developer who sells his project, he takes a loan from the bank and he got certain KPI, 30%, 50% to attain. Therefore, he want to attract buyers because he got obligation. Therefore, he price sensitively. Once he crossed the 30%, 50%, 70%, 80%, he increased the price following the norms because he's not in a dire need to sell. So this is what we are trying to say. Give you another example. Seaside Residence, April 2017. Okay. This person bought it at 1,679, and look at it in January, same stack we choose again, stack number 16. Okay, and this person bought per square foot, same size also we took, from 1,679 per square foot to go up to $2,114. And where does it come out to? 26% increase, and over a period of less than 2 years. Haven't TOP. This is what we are trying to say is dollar averaging. Developer stage up the price because he give at sensitive price at the launch. As he get the momentum, he increase. And this is the term dollar averaging, so that overall as GDV, gross development value, he attained a better average price to make some reasonable profit. Okay, so who's taking advantage? Whoever who make the first mover. And that's why you see in most of the launches, the launch weekend, why people are going there to go and shop, because they know they do benefit right pricing. Okay, let me give you another little glimpse. So this is as far as the new launch versus resale is a choice that you need to make and your call. But having said that, we have seen a study that new launches do give some better upside. Looking at this OPM concept, as I said, other people's money. I'm just going to share with you one of my own example. This is a property that I bought personally together with my wife in 1995. This is a clump of Ding Kostaru. If you go by Benjamin Shears, you will see very, very obviously. Mine is a 2-bedder, 990 square feet, almost 1,000 square foot, facing the river. So you have an unblocked view of the river from my master bedroom and so on. Really beautiful. Okay, and this was something that we bought almost 25 years ago. Why am I sharing you? Look at it last year, July. receive a letter from DBS, discharge of mortgage, congratulations on full repayment of the housing loan. My name and my wife's name. So what does it mean? If I sell this property today, 100% will come to me, and I did not use any CPF, it's pure cold hard cash. Let me give you a glimpse. This is how it works. If you buy a 2-bedroom property, and at that time was only about $700,000. So my outlay was 20% of 700 was 140,000, and I took a loan of 560,000. If you take a 560,000, depending on the number of years that you take, your installment could be anything between 2,008 or maybe less than $3,000. I was renting out the property for the last 20 years at a rental of 2005 at the early stages, and current rental is 3,009, and it's fully paid. What does it mean? The entire 3,009 goes to my pocket because it's already been fully paid. So if I sell this property, and today the property prices is anything between 1.3, 1.4, 1.42, depending on the current valuation, 1,400 per square foot. Okay, and this is in a very good location, good view, unblocked and so on. So if I really sell it at 1.4 million, and the check is going to be completely 1.4 million to me because I got zero loan, zero CPF. And imagine my outlay 25 years ago was only 140,000. I put 140,000, I get 1.4 million, and the tenant has been paying my monthly installment because I've been renting out the property all this while. So what's my return, my capital gain or return on equity? My return on equity here is this 1.26 million I make out of the 140,000, which is 9 times, 900%. That's why we always encourage, for those of you who can afford to buy a second property, doesn't matter, a decent small unit, become a savings plan. And as long as you can plan it right, and I tell you, all my PropNext salespeople got a RAM system, okay, risk assessment management system. They can guide with you. They can tell you to have how much safety that net that you need to do, even if you lose your job for 6 months, 9 months, based on your comfort. We never want to push a client. It's important. But can you imagine? This is the best retirement. We don't need to depend on government or whoever it is to give us small amount of money or even take out from our CPF. If we own and if we do and we invest and we get it fully paid, and 20 years you sell, it become 1 million, 1.5 million, and that's your full retirement plan to live life with dignity. And that's what we are talking about. Okay. Next thing, let me talk about price consideration. One of the key things here is this: why prices go up or come down? It all depends on demand and supply. Okay. One of the key things I'm showing it to you, this is from URA. Look at it. Beginning of last year, we had 36,000 unsold flat. As of second quarter ending, the balance unsold flat is 27,977. Last 2 months, July and August, more than 1,000 units were sold per month. So probably right now, we only got balance 25,000. How long can this demand? Are we having a glut because of the pandemic? No. With this absorption rate, the number will eventually come down. And look at the demand. I mean, I'm showing you the last 20 years demand. I put an average, 10-year average and 20-year average. Even the last 20 years on average, Singaporean buy about 10,000. And that's exactly what happened last year, 9,900, 10,000. And this year for the first 8 months, despite the pandemic, is 6,000 plus. I think we are likely hit the 9,000 plus, maybe 10,000, I'm not so sure. And then look at it. Those days of the 5,000 was the crisis of .com or crisis of SARS. And this was Lehman crisis. This 7,000 was because of the pandemic, the TDSR, total debt servicing ratio and cooling measures. So definitely we have a demand of about 9 to 10,000. And look at the earlier slide that I showed it to you. We only got 27,000. Divide by 9,000, 3 years is gone. Okay, in terms of demand. So we are not experiencing a glut. In fact, if you come in and the property take another 2-3 years, by that time, in terms of demand and supply, we will be in a better position. Okay. So looking at prices of property, land cost has not dropped either. Almost all those developers who bought the land in 2017 versus 2018 in terms of average per square foot per plot ratio, when we did a calculation, actually it has gone up. That's why prices are holding, because land cost is not cheaper. That's point number one. Neither is the construction cost is going to come down. This was in May when our minister was saying no doubt construction costs will rise with COVID-19 testing. Because you see, people are put in dormitory and they got more social distance, productivity bit slow down, take a longer time. You know, some of the BTO and some of the development will be extended completion. So the longer time the developer hold, interest rate goes up, construction cost goes up, material cost goes up, and land cost is not coming down. Then how do we expect the property price to come down? Maybe minor adjustment. I'm not saying that for sure will go up, but if we are expecting the property prices to come down 10%, 20%, I don't think the current statistics supports that, because demand is strong, supply is dwindling, not much en bloc took place in order to increase the land bank, and Singapore is seen as a resilient market, and that's why we think it's a good time to enter the market. Something that you will have to make an assessment. Price range, generally we are talking about rest of cost central region, RCR. RCR. I remember I showed you the Singapore map and so on earlier. The price today based on the land cost and all other things about 2009 to 2005. There are development in RCR today, they are priced more than 2009 to 2000 and 2001. Places at the Sterling Road, Avenue South, and many others, because they have got strong attributes and there's a strong demand even at Bukit Timah and elsewhere. But if that development that you go in the RCR and you can buy it at 1005, that is shocking. You know why? Your price, you are going back to 2016. It is like you're given a chance to go back and rewind the clock back 3 years ago and pick something at that price in this market. Doesn't that favors you? Isn't that your advantage? And this can only happen in a buyer's market because of sensitive pricing. And that's exactly is what is happening. And that's exactly why people are coming in big numbers to pick up in July and August. And believe me, in September, next week, there's a huge launch RCR product where the developer is going to start some of the bigger units below 1005. That means they're going to 1516 prices. Some of the smaller unit will be 1718 prices, and most likely all prices will be below 17. And to tell you the honest truth, as of today, the developer from all the marketing agencies, more than 1,000 checks people have already interested to commit to buy this project, which is what immediately after my presentation in 3 minutes, a very short brief, the project chief will be highlighting about this product. Just keep an open mind and hear, because even if you're interested, there's no guarantee you can get, because this development will go by balloting. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, so what are the key things before I just sum it up? I was just talking about today. In any property investment, that as Eddie said, location matters. That's definitely huge, location. And location also comes with entry price. Obviously, everyone will know Orchard Road is the best, Shenton Way is the best, but at what price? At entry level. So that's why location come entry price. Then it's also equally important, rentability and rental yield. Why is it important, the rentability and rental yield? Buying your property and you can't rent because the hinterland don't have a workforce, there isn't a future upside, then what is the point? It is going to be vacant. It's not likely to be unless you buy at the right location. So this is another thing that you have to look out for. Next thing, transformation of the area. Does it make sense? Is there future growth of either the hub or some new initiative by the government, as for example, a Pile Bar industrial areas or an air industry to be revamped and so on, make ways, light industries, transformations, make a huge difference. Finally, when all these things are in order, does it support a capital appreciation? Because at entry level is already so attractive that even with the capital appreciation, there's a next group of buyers who can afford to buy. So that makes sense, right? So this is very, very important. So with that, I'm going to just hand over my stop share, speak to any of our PropNext salesperson whom you are comfortable with, whom you have always been dealing with. If not, just go and choose one of our PropNext salespeople about greater understanding of the product. And that's where you can always keep in touch with the rest of them. Yeah. So with that, let me just stop my screen and I will just hand over to Penrose, a product that is really exciting for you to take a look. It is known as Penrose. Who's there to take this through? Penrose? Oh yeah, Brian. Okay,
Yep, Brian is
you all ready, Brian? Okay, unmute Brian if you're ready. Hi, Brian. Okay, good. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
hi.
And
Okay,
Brian,
we
you are at the show
will
itself, is
be
it?
going into the show flat now. So you will be able to see a live walkthrough of the show flat at this point of time. So just bear with me when I walk towards the entrance of the show flat and I can flip the video towards the show flat. All right, just give me
Brian, can you just hold on, Brian? Can you hold a
Yes,
moment? Okay, you just hold a moment for me. Okay.
yes.
Okay, let me tell you.
Okay,
Okay, I just want to tell the rest of you because it's so difficult to go to the show flat because of all the social distancing and so on. This is the product that is really that is so hot in the market. So try to understand, even though it cannot be of a perfect reception, but just understanding, Brian will just lead you through to understand this product. This product is priced to sell at entry at less than 1,500 square foot for the medium and bigger size of the flat. With that, Brian, it's all yours. Thank you so much.
all right. Okay, give me a moment. Can y'all see my screen? Okay, hold on. All right, so actually here I am at the show flat. This is actually the last viewing slot of the day. So where we are now, this is the model of the show flat. And this itself is Penrose entrance. As you can see, this is coming in from Sims Drive. So basically what you're seeing here now is actually the entranceway. And going into the entranceway, we are actually seeing a grand drop-off area at Penrose itself. So if you all can see, this is actually how wide the distance between blocks are, and a 50 meters pool in the center. And for this itself, right, this entire development, why is it so interesting is because 566 units, there is a good unit mix of 1 bedrooms all the way to 4 bedrooms. And what we are seeing here are the facilities at the back. These are the PIE facings. So this unit types here will be mainly the 2 bedrooms and the 3 bedrooms. And you can see how nicely the developer has done for the facilities in this area. You can see that the kids pool is actually at the back. And actually on the 5th floor itself, there's actually also another pool. And this itself is a very interesting concept because it will be facing towards Nexus International School, which is actually a unblocked view. All right, so now I'm trying to go into the model, or rather the show unit itself, to show you all. So as you can see, due to social distancing, there's guards, there's queue posts everywhere. So just give me a while and see whether I can go into any one of the show units. All right, I am going into a 3-bedroom now. So this 3-bedroom unit type here, this is actually our 3-bedroom premium, as you all can see. 98 square meters, type 3YB. So this is at the show flat, and what we are going to see now is actually from the main door. And actually on the right here, there's actually a bomb shelter, as you all can see. And what I really love about the 3-bedroom types here is the unique kitchen size that we cannot find anymore. All right, so again, this is the kitchen itself. This kitchen here is very efficient. And for our 3-bedroom types, right, you can see that they are, instead of giving a 2-in-1, developers are giving actually the washer and the dryer separately. So you are getting 2 for the 3 premium. It also comes with a helper's room at the back over here. All right, and of course, this WC over here. So ladies and gentlemen, bear with me for a little bit of the shakiness in the video because we are doing this live now at the show flat. As you can see, the living hall size is actually very comfortable. You are getting a good width between yourself and the TV area. And of course, the rooms are all tucked into the corner, very private. I will start off with the master bedroom first. And our master bedroom size is very comfortable, that can fit up to a queen bed or even a king bed. All right. So again, cabinets are done. You can see the finishes. I would say that they are also one of the nicer developments that we have seen as well. So you can see that the finishes for the development is done up very well. And this is the common toilet area. I like how they actually tuck the shower area actually towards the left. So it's actually private as well. And of course, the 2 common rooms that we are seeing here all can fit up to a queen size bed. All right. So this area here, they are displaying it as a kid's room, but you can see that it's actually a queen size fitting bed. All right. Okay. So the interesting thing for this development is that the balcony area is not too huge as well, but still good size, and we are able to use it as a dining area, or if not, also as a balcony, the proposed use, which is actually the balcony area as well. All right. Let me try to get into either a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or a 4-bedroom. 2-bedroom, there's a queue. 4-bedroom, somebody's inside. Okay, so due to social distancing, I will go in quickly and I'll come out quickly. All right. So as you can see, due to very, very strict restrictions by the developers, we are actually viewing the show flat in very strict circumstances. Social distancing is actually being adhered to. So you can see for our 4-bedroom itself is huge. I personally love this kitchen. I've not seen a kitchen of this size for a very, very long time. So at the back, there is actually also the helper's room. All right, as you all can see, a WC. And a long and wide kitchen that I think we can fit up to maybe even 3 to 4 packs in the kitchen very comfortably. All right, so all the appliances are also here, as you all can see. So like I said, everything is actually very, very nicely done. And into the living area, I like that they have this glass finish here so that you can look into your living and dining area also. So you can see that this living and dining area over here, it actually opens up, and you can actually also use the balcony area as a dining space. After you do a zip track, or you can do the louvers provided or approved by the developers for use. Of course, it's up to your own discretion. And I like that all their toilets, right, or rather all their rooms are considered a junior master suite, because this room, you actually have a connected toilet that we can actually walk through, and it will bring us to actually another room. All right. So as you all can see, once I step in, there's another room over here, and I have another junior master over here for the 4-bedroom that is also actually connected to the toilet over here. All right, this is also a common toilet because you see there's dual entrance way to this toilet. And lastly, of course, for the master bedroom itself, you can see that this master bedroom is slightly larger. We can fit up to a king size bed without any issues. Moving in all the way over here, you can see that I have very, very good size rooms itself. All right, so master bath is actually quite similar to those that we have seen. Okay. So far, I hope you guys are enjoying the tour. Like I said, I'm sorry, I apologize for the shaky images because this is done on an iPhone. So we are heading and trying to see whether we can go into a 2-bedroom. All right, give me a while. So sorry. Okay. So, yes. So for this 2-bedroom, right, this is actually a 2-bed, 1-bath. All right. So 2-bed, 1-bath at 60 square meters. Okay. One thing I have to stress, this is a dumbbell layout. So if I'm going to show you this way, you can see that in the balcony itself, if I were to look into the entire room, you can see that it's a dumbbell concept. And can you see that the kitchen is actually tucked in with a glass finish to actually look out into the living dining area as well. All right, as you can see, we are in the midst of viewing. So there are people viewing the show flat now. This is a 2-bed, 1-bath, I stress that. But you can see that the kitchen is very, very rare because it has a tucked-in kitchen with the ability to do an enclosed area for the kitchen itself. And I can say that of my many years doing property, to find a 2-bedroom nowadays is with an enclosed kitchen or enclosable kitchen is very rare. And let's see whether I can take a sneak peek of the rooms without showing the buyers. All right, so anyway, we are in the next bedroom. So this bedroom itself, you can see that I like that they have this little space here from the entranceway, this little space here. So it gives you the ability to have a wider room. You can do a queen bed and you still have some space when you enter into the room. You can follow the developers and do a mirror here. So this itself can actually showcase the size of the rooms, even it's a 2-bed, 1 bath. All right, so if you guys can follow me, we will go to the last spot over here. All right, hold on. Okay, so we are heading towards the wall mural or the site plan. So I want to show you a few things on the site model itself or the site plan itself and how efficient the layout is. As you can see, I'm walking towards the site plan now. So on the site plan itself, you can see that today you have a very effective, what I'm seeing on screen now is actually 5 blocks, 566 units. As you can see, block 28, which is over here, 26, which is over here. These are what we call the point blocks. Generally, these are the bigger units. We have block 30 over here, which is near the main entrance. For block 30 itself, you can see a good mix of 2 bedrooms and also our 3 bedrooms as well. So if you're going up towards block 20, which is this one over here, you can see a unique mix of 3 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, and actually 2 bedrooms as well, okay? And of course, for block 22, it's the same. So you can see that this is the 50-meter flat pool that we are seeing in the site plan itself, in the development itself. You also have this grand clubhouse area, and we tucked into one corner over here. This is actually our tennis court. All right, so you can see that this development is done up very nicely. Majority of the units are a little bit northwest, southeast, but I can say the main bulk of it is a north-south facing units. And of course, the panoramic view of actually our Penrose. So where is Penrose located? What are we looking at here? This is actually the Nexus International School. What we have opposite over here, this is actually Penrose Penrose actual development itself. It will be overlooking towards Nexus International School. So you can see that today, a certain level, when we clear, we will be able to get an unblocked view as well. More importantly, we are very, very close to the Paya Lebar quarters over here. We are also near to East Coast Park. We are near Aljunied MRT. In fact, we are walking distance about 7-8 minutes walk. And of course, we have the Nexus International School, which is over here. And we also have the very famous Sims Vista Market and Food Center. Personally, after which I also think this is also a lifestyle hub because it's very, very close to actually the Singapore Sports Hub and finally our CBD area itself. All right, so to fully enjoy this development, okay, I'm just gonna flip the mirror, just gonna flip the camera back. So to fully enjoy this development, I think you can speak to any of our PropNextions or any of our PropNex consultants. They will be able to share more with you the true value of Penrose, not just on the location itself, but why Penrose is actually one of those projects that we can really consider buying either for own stay or for investment in year 2020 itself. All right, so with that, I'll hand my time back to Eddie. Eddie.
Hi, Brian. I think the most critical thing, right, is the timeline. The timeline for people who are interested. What are the key timelines?
Okay. All right. So again, let me sit down to answer this question. Again, I forgot to mention for the timeline of Penrose. Currently, we are in the 2nd week of our viewing. In fact, our last day of viewing is actually the 23rd of September, which is actually this Wednesday. The check cutoff is also this Wednesday at 11 p.m. for us. And basically, 24th onwards, the show flat will be closed. When are we expecting to go for ballot? On the 25th, we'll do this thing called a pre-ballot. And on Saturday, which is this coming 26th, is actually our booking date itself. So for those of you who are still thinking about what properties you are looking at, Penrose is actually one of those developments for you all to consider. And it's really something that if today, given an opportunity, I think many agents are also looking to purchase Penrose as well. And as the saying goes, if an agent knows that this property is something that you can buy and is buying into it, Same goes for the consumers. I think this is actually very, very good product. For those of you, again, like I said, looking for own stay or looking for investment as well. So at the end of the day, you have to understand this property here has the ability to give you both. So the advantage is there. And again, let me remind you, the key dates is actually cut off on the 23rd for check collection. And on the 26th will be our booking day. So for those of you who have already placed your check, we are consolidating now for the balloting itself. For those of you who have yet to given your checks, all right, call your preferred PropNex consultants, and they will be advising you on the viewing slots available. Try to accommodate with the viewings because of the social distancing measures. And if not, I think most of our PropNex consultants also have the virtual tour that we have just showed you earlier on. So if you can sit down with them, run through with them your virtual tours, and definitely I would love to see you this coming Saturday. All right, Eddie, anything else?
Hey, thanks, Brian, for sharing the timeline. So what we are saying is that on the 23rd, or let me see, okay, on the 23rd is the check cut off.
Yes.
So actually the next date is on the 26th. Okay, why am I sharing these two numbers on the board itself, right? For people that think that they put a check, that means they buy already. Is it means that they already committed to a purchase? If they place a check, does it mean?
No, you still have to go through balloting. Due to the number of checks that we have collected, we have to go for balloting.
Actually, thank you, Brian, for sharing. A lot of people got a misconception. They place a check means they committed to something. But actually, I want to share with everyone. If you do not have, you want more time to think, right? Put a check. Because when you put a check right, on the 26th, at the booking day, you get to think more. You get to see the prices. Most importantly is to see the price. If you never place a check on the 23rd, is the decision day already. That means totally out of the picture. But if you really think that it might be an opportunity, I'm not sure, right? Let me urge you. Talk to a PropNex consultant, just put in a LOA. It's just a form to signify that you have interest to go for the balloting itself. Does not constitute to buying yet. And then we'll see you on the 26th. Show you all the prices, and then you decide whether you want to buy, or maybe this is not a good time for you, or maybe it's a good opportunity. So this is what we are trying to share over here by the dates itself. So 23rd, Wednesday. If you're not sure, put the LOA in so that you got a few more days to go and think about it, go and see the virtual tour, talk to a PropNex consultant, and then you also get yourself an IPA from the bank to make sure you're prepared. Main thing, we're not pushing people to buy anything or asking you to buy anything. Think through what do you need, speak to a PropNex consultant, and then hope that you don't miss any good opportunities out there in the market. Hey, thank you, Brian and the team. Every time you all go into the show flat to do all this, it's not easy because the show flat is really packed. It takes a lot of skill to weave in and out of traffic. Well done.
Yep.
Hey, now we are progressing. Now we are like the weather forecaster. One in the studio, one on the on-site. Hi, this is the weather forecaster. Brian Tan is out there, is sunny and everything. Thank you for bringing more value to our people. Just to do this is a lot of coordination because we need to coordinate with the guard, the developer, and everything. But just to bring more value to all our consumers that's watching our webinar, we will take this consumer webinar to even greater heights to deliver more value to everyone. Thank you, Brian. Thank you to all the participants that are here with us tonight. Any question, you can divert to your PropNex consultant and we help to support them from there. Without much further ado, please talk to them about Penrose, and then we'll see you all on the 26th. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.